This guy's a loser. He's going to be a loser, and simple as that. I think we start off with a surcharge. If it escalates, we have to use every tool in our toolbox. We aren't the only one that sends the electricity down to the U.S. New Brunswick does, Quebec does, BC does, Manitoba does, just to name a few. So we need to get together, all together, and decide if we're going to put surcharges on the electricity. Watch how he does cartwheels and he shouts and screams when we put the surcharge on. Matter of fact, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Let's be clear. I don't like the guy. Simple. Well, I can go back and forth with Trump. You know, I'm just not gonna take the bait. This guy's a loser. He's gonna be a loser, and simple as that. We're gonna fight with everything we have. And you know something? I have more courage, more brains in my baby toe than he has in his whole body. So there you go. I'm going to be reaching out to every single governor, every single senator, and every single congressperson. And when it comes to the midterms, I have a message to the Americans. Don't vote in a person that's going to kill your jobs.
Breaking news, everyone. A political storm is growing between the United States and Canada. And surprisingly, some MAGA supporters are expressing frustration over Donald Trump's approach to America's northern neighbor. Has Trump damaged one of America's strongest alliances? Or is this simply America First politics in action? Let's break it down. Political disagreements involving trade tariffs, border policies, diplomatic tensions, political statements. Trump has argued that America should protect its own industries first, even if that creates tension with close allies. Some critics within conservative circles argue Canada is an important ally. Tariffs may hurt American businesses. Farmers and manufacturers could face higher costs. Others support Trump's position because they believe America should negotiate tougher deals. Domestic industries deserve stronger protection. Commentary. Not all MAGA supporters agree, and reactions have been divided. Like this video, subscribe for daily international news and gist, and tell me in the comments, do you think Trump is right or wrong about Canada? Let's hear from our correspondents.
As you wake up this morning, know that Canada is about to retaliate massively against the United States with new tariffs, and the President of the United States says he is giving serious consideration to changing the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America, since, quote, we won't be doing much business with Ontario anymore. It comes after Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, told Donald Trump that he could, quote, kiss his ass, and the trade war between the United States and Canada continues to erupt. Canada is going to announce dollar-for-dollar retaliatory tariffs against the United States. The president seemingly has not expected this, and so in response, what we're going to do is potentially change the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America, one of the Great Lakes. He's already tried this with the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and now he wants to do it with the lake. All the while, the Premier of Ontario is telling Trump, go kiss my ass. That's your morning rundown on this Canada trade war. It's a lot. I'll have more updates for you soon. Spread the word. Follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
This is Tim Snyder. I'm far away from North America at the moment, but wanted to say a word about the U.S. trade war with Canada, which is based upon a misunderstanding of economics and a misunderstanding of politics. This little video will be about economics. So Mr. Trump has made his entire career on the basis of fraud and grift. As a result, he doesn't really believe in the normal play of markets. He doesn't understand that there might be legal exchanges or honest exchanges or exchanges where both parties actually profit and not just one. And this is at the root of his misunderstanding of what a trade war is all about. Because you see, he doesn't understand what a trade deficit is. A trade deficit means that you buy something from another country and they give you things that you want. It's a little bit like going to the grocery store. You have a trade deficit with your grocery store. You go there, you give them money, they give you things that you want, or maybe even that you need. Now, you could decide in a moment of madness that you're angry with the grocery store, that you think that they're just stealing your money. And you could say, I am so angry with you, grocery store, that I've decided that I'm now going to pay even more for the stuff that you want and the stuff that you need. That's the trade war with Canada in a nutshell. They sell us things that we want and things that we need and things that help us build other things. And now we're putting tariffs on them, which means that all these things that we want and need will be more expensive for us. But the reason Mr. Trump thinks this makes sense is he doesn't understand markets. He doesn't understand economics. He never has. It simply doesn't occur to him that there could be an exchange in which both parties actually do well. As a result of this, he thinks that we're being ripped off. And this is his constant pathological preoccupation. Because he spent his entire life ripping people off, his main concern all the time is that somehow he is being ripped off. So, ignorance of economics is rooted in a lifetime of cheating other people, which leads to a policy in which everybody loses. That's the economics video, politics video coming up.
Canada and China have been the two worst countries when it comes to trade policy anywhere in the world. What a shame that is. China, you of course expect. They're our biggest economic competitor. I would expect that from China. I would not expect that from Canada. We have to remember, Canada is a state, sorry, Freudian slip. That was actually an accident. Canada is a country that has underinvested in its military that quite literally would get invaded by a foreign country were it not for the umbrella of protection provided by the United States of America. And so how does Canada actually respond to that? By treating the people of Maine fairly? No. They apply ridiculous tariffs and other non-tariff duties on Maine products coming into Canada, and they don't expect Maine or anybody else to fight back. We're sick of that. We are actually going to fight back against unfair trade practices, whether it's coming from China or Canada. Now, and let me just give you a very, very simple and concrete example. If you buy dairy, cheese, butter, milk that comes from Canada into Maine, you probably are buying a product that has 0% tariffs on it, okay? And by the way, if Canada applied 0%, that would be one thing. But you know, if a Maine farmer sends dairy products into Canada, they could be paying as much as a 250% tariff. Now, how is it fair to the farmers of Maine that they pay 250% when the Canadian farmers pay nothing? That unfairness is something that we just have to fix. And here's what happened with the most recent round of negotiations. They're still ongoing, and I want to be respectful of the process. But we know that Canada allows itself to be used as a backdoor for Chinese goods. They treat Chinese goods more fairly than they do the goods that come from the people of Maine. It's insanity. And what we've said to Canada is stop it. Apply a basic principle of fairness to the trade that you're doing between North Dakota and Canada, between Maine and Canada. And what happened at the very end is they came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands. I frankly thought we had a deal. I think that we should have a deal, but I think that we need to send a message loud and clear to the Prime Minister of Canada. Stop taking advantage of the people of Maine. Stop taking advantage of America. It's over. We expect fairness in our trade policy.
So do you know why Donald Trump hates Canada so much and he is so aggressive towards us and our economy? It comes down to, honestly, just a couple of things. First and foremost, we will never capitulate to him. We will never bend the knee, and we will always say no to him. And he is a man who has had people say yes to him his entire life. But Canadians are built different. We are the true north. We are strong and we are free, and we will continue to be free, and we will never be under the yoke of the United States of America. Why? Because we're Canadian. I am Canadian. You're Canadian. And we are nasty.
Okay, at this point, we now know Trump is intentionally trying to destroy our economy. He only has a couple years left. He is literally going to leave office with a destroyed economy, and he's doing it on purpose. Look at what he's doing with Canada. He has imposed new tariffs, 50% tariffs. They were negotiating up until last night, but it just came out of nowhere. Trump came back in, a couple weeks back and just said, we're hitting Canada with 50% tariffs. Now, let's be very clear about something. The Supreme Court said his tariffs were illegal, but Trump found a loophole that said that if countries discriminated against the United States by not buying certain goods as a punishment, which Canada was doing because we still had other tariffs on their goods and services. But here's the deal. The Supreme Court said it was illegal, and the United States paid back billions of dollars to the companies like Walmart, Home Depot, Costco. They all got their money back that they had paid out in tariffs. Okay? Well, guess what? All these companies are going to have to start paying the tariffs again. And Trump can't lie this time and say, oh no, the other country pays the tariffs. Because if the other country paid the tariffs, then why were you refunding all the tariff money after they were found to be illegal back to the big companies here in the US, you buffoon? So now he can't wriggle out of that one, okay? 50% tariff on goods coming in from Canada, like aluminum and steel, okay? The consumer will pay that. You, the United States consumer, will pay that tariff, period, end of story. Again, if Walmart's buying stuff from Canada, they've got to pay the tariff at the border before they get their hands on those goods, and they will pass that cost onto the consumer. So once again, Trump is completely effing over the United States as we approach the midterms in November. Good luck with that, Republicans. You are going to be smeared all up and down every street in our country because we are done with the Republican way. This is not a game anymore. This is not funny. This shows absolutely nothing but reckless behavior from Trump, his administration, and the Republicans in Congress.
Canada has responded through diplomatic discussions and trade negotiations. Possible areas affected include imports and exports, energy cooperation, auto manufacturing, agriculture. Possible consequences discussed by economists include tariffs can increase costs for imported goods. Some industries may gain protection, while others may face export challenges. Despite the strong political language used online, the United States and Canada remain close allies through trade, defense cooperation, and diplomatic partnerships. Political disagreements do not automatically mean the two countries are enemies. The debate over Trump's approach to Canada has sparked strong opinions across the political spectrum. Some believe it's a smart America first strategy, while others worry it could weaken one of America's closest relationships. The bigger question now is whether these tensions will grow or eventually cool down. Comment below. Is Trump protecting America or hurting relations with Canada? Don't forget to subscribe for more